Welcome to this video on the doshas and you. We are going to explore the doshas as they apply to your mind and your body so that you can better understand yourself. And with that information, seek ways to gain greater balance in your life. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we're going to do a little slideshow. So the doshas and you. By this point, I hope that you have an understanding of the 5 elements and the doshas. The very basic understanding of them is all that we need here. So there are 2 aspects to understanding how the doshas affect you as a person. The first is your constitution, what we call your Prakriti. Now, this is how you are born, like the kind of body you have and your personality tendencies. Then, as you live your life, you have stress and you adapt to it. And this naturally takes you out of balance. This out of balanceness is the Vikruti. It is your Vikruti, the doshas of your imbalances. And we say in Ayurveda speak that your Pitta is aggravated, your Vata is aggravated. And this just means that you have extra of that dosha right now in your life, and it's causing some grief for you. So what you want to do, and I definitely recommend that you give yourself a lot of grace and time to understand the difference between the Prakriti, your core tendencies, and your imbalances. Because as humans, what we tend to do is when we've had an imbalance for a long time, we start to think that is who we are. And it takes a while to, number 1, see it, and number 2, start to undo it. So, but with this information I'm sharing with you, you can start to gain greater clarity on that. And then from there, find ways to take actions that will bring you back into your natural state of balance. So we're going to look at the body first. We're going to look at the core characteristics of Kapha and then some of the imbalances. And we'll go through each dosha this way. So for Kapha, we've got the lovely Oprah Winfrey as our model here. Now, Kapha, it's made of earth and water, so it's all about substance, also a bit more heaviness and voluptuousness and luxury. So thinking about larger mass in the body, in the bones, in the lips, big eyes, more hair, oftentimes very like skin is just soft and moist. The hair is gorgeous, not voluptuous, but luxurious. And the body tends to be a bit bigger. So that means that then the Kapha, if you have a Kapha body type, you'll often have a tendency to have more Kapha imbalances. So Kapha imbalances are things like excess anything, especially like weight, excess water, edema, excess like mucus. Mucus is a really standard Kapha sign of too much Kapha, sluggish digestion as well. For the Pitta body, we have our Wolverine. So Wolverine, he is strong. He is, he's very kind of angular. Pittas are like, they're kind of average in a lot of ways. They're not massive people. They're not small people. They're in the middle of the road. They have a tendency for redder skin, for hair that goes gray, deep set eyes, like very intense gaze. Their skin also tends to be more on the oily side. And in terms of Pitta imbalances, Pitta Vikruti in the body, you have too much oil, like with acne, too much fire. So any kind of skin rash, any kind of indigestion, diarrhea, or inflammation of any body part is a sign of excess Pitta. For Vata, so Vata is air and ether. And we've got lovely Sarah Jessica Parker here. So Vata, it doesn't have as much substance, right? Air and ether is kind of like floating off away. So Vatas are oftentimes they're long and thin and light. They tend to be oftentimes like a little something's like the little like unbalanced, like the teeth or the eyes. They have got crazy hair. I know I've got Vata crazy hair. The traditional complexion is like dusty and gray. That's not the greatest. I think it's more like dry skin. So that is a symptom of excess Vata. It's like dryness anywhere on the mouth and the eyes, the skin, in the digestion. Constipation is a classic Vata sign, associated often with gas and belching. Okay, do you relate to any of these? So just notice that you might relate to a few, and that is normal. We actually are made of all three doshas. However, we typically have a primary and a secondary that are pretty prevalent, and then that third one is a little bit quieter, but everybody's different. So Kapha in the mind. Kapha. Think about that like loving mother bear, the mother hen. Kapha is a Kapha personality is very supportive. They're very nurturing, very stable. They tend to be a little bit quieter and slower, but very, very loyal. Once they finally make a decision and commit to something, they are with you for the long haul. The Kapha in imbalance, thinking about that earth, it's like that stability into the point of stuckness, to being attached to people and things, being overly emotional, sentimental, to the point where it's getting in the way. Also, just like not having an opinion, being very lethargic and depressed. There is a type of depression that is a Kapha depression. Pitta in the mind. So Pittas they're leaders, they are go-getters, they are risk takers. They like to think about the big picture, make a plan, and make it happen. So they can really like make quick decisions, be super passionate going in, and very, very, they really support what they believe in. So they make great lawyers. They're very argumentative. They're great at trying to convince. But the negative side of that, when it is in excess, is that they can be very judgmental, very pushy, very intense, and to the point of like anger. They get resentful and they can be jealous. So this is all Pitta when it is too much fire. Vatas are kind of out, like maybe floating a little bit. They're independent, and they can tend to be like more creative, spiritual types. They're not super focused on getting things done. Their attention is on other things, on other ways of being. They can be easily excited, easily scared, and they tend to like go start a project, are really excited about it, and then they see something else, and then they get really excited about that and abandon the other projects, and they just leave a trail of unfinished projects behind them, which is not a problem. Speech, Vatas can have a tendency to ramble. So that is oftentimes, especially when they're like very overwhelmed, they can just talk and talk and talk and talk. So the classic signs of Vata imbalance are worry, are overwhelm, are being just completely disconnected from the ground, very nervous, and having that really kind of affect their ability to like sleep and focus and whatnot. So there we go. That is our overview of the doshas as they apply to you. Now, this is like a basic look at it. There's all kinds of complexities we can get in to understand you as yourself, but this right here is a great starting point to help you kind of understand and see yourself in terms of the doshas. And the power of this is when you can see that, hey, like my Vata dosha is a little bit aggravated because I'm like worried about this thing all the time, then you can do anything that balances Vata, whether that's, eat some nuts, or do a Vata balancing massage. Like whatever balances Vata, that is going to help you feel better. So it's such a cool system. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post below or reach out to me. All right, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.